What is up, ladies and gentlemen, real producers of DFW? I'm your host, Jordan Espeseth. I'm excited to have our guests on today. Every week we come on, we have, sometimes it's me hosting, sometimes it's Rachelle, sometimes it's Lance. We have our RP vetted business partners, we have top agents. But once a month we come on, myself, Lance, Rachelle, and we talk about something. Today, I'm pretty pumped about today because we're going to talk about becoming a part of Real Producers. A lot of new agents that have entered into becoming part of the top 500 per their market for Real Producers in 2022 here in DFW. We want to talk about what that means, right? We want to talk about what that means for you, what you get out about what you get out of being in this community. And so we're really excited. And Landon, man, I think we were supposed to do the intro and then the video, and then and then I introduced him. So I think we did that all backwards, but that's okay. I'm down to improvise a little bit. So I'm probably just at this point going to introduce two people who I just mentioned: my co-owner of North Fort Worth and Fort Worth Real Producers, Mr. Lance Dunahoe, and my assistant publisher, Rachelle Marie. Come on in, y'all.
Hello. I'm just sharing the feed right here on my Facebook. And yeah, those of you watching, feel free to give it a share because we have some good information we're going to be sharing about the community today.
Absolutely. Yes.
I was told to stay off of technology during meetings, so I'm
okay.
I'm going to set an example for my kids.
Well, if you're on the phone and you don't want to go to the bathroom if you're on the phone and use technology at that point or anything like that, that's very, very specific. So,
all right, I'll put it away here.
No, we're just playing. Inside joke there. So, what's up, guys? I'm pumped, and I'm excited about talking about what we're going to talk about today because it's one of my favorite subjects. It's about just straight up the Real Producers community, and it's so exciting because just what was it, like 3-4 weeks ago, we sent out the congratulations messages to the top 2,000 agents within DFW. And there's probably, we thought about it, there's probably close to 1,000 new agents that this is their first time getting that message. And some of them might be saying, man, I maybe have heard of Real Producers. What does that mean? Like, what do I get about being out of being in this community? And how can it help me? And how can I be a part of it? And what can I do? And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to, welcome you guys into the class of 2022 for Real Producers here in DFW. Big congrats to you guys. So if you guys are interested in finding out more about what that means, that's what we're going to talk about. And so, man, Rachelle, I know this is something that we're just talking about doing, and it's always an exciting time of the year. And why don't you actually? Here's what we'll do. I'm gonna give just a quick how I got to DFW, and then I'll have Rachelle kind of hit on some different points. We'll kind of fire at you, but we'll try and do it in a systematized way. So follow along. When Real Producers started here in DFW, it was 2018. It started for the first time ever because it is a national franchise, right? We started in Indianapolis back in 2015. Real Producers has expanded over the years into over 100 markets, and there's 4 Real Producers here in DFW. I came here. I moved from northern Minnesota in 2018, started the first one. Next year we added another. Year after that we added another, and this year we're adding the 4th and the final Real Producers for DFW. And, Real Producers really is, if I were to simply put it, it's about creating a community around the best producing agents and best businesses within the market. And so, Rachelle, I'm going to have you. Rachelle's our detailed person. She's the one that hits on all points and never misses one. Rachelle, why don't you kind of chime in? If you're an agent, right, and you got this text that says, hey, I'm a part of the top 500 for whether that's North Dallas or North Fort Worth or Fort Worth. What does that mean? What would you want to tell that person if they're listening in right now?
Yeah, and we're definitely going to give that overview, what you can expect this year, what you're going to get being a part of this exclusive community for truly the cream of the crop in real estate here in DFW. And so we'll touch on those points. But firstly, we want to say too, if you are a new agent, a part of this community, we want to meet you. Yes, we're doing our congratulations and welcome, a part of the community during this podcast, but we also, just one of our team wants to meet with you one-on-one, give you more of a personable welcome and congratulations, a part of this exclusive community, and also hear your story. It's so important for us to get to know those, a part of the community. And Jordan, I think it would be just great at the beginning here, just to touch on the importance of, so what, like you said, why is being a part of the Real Producers community a big deal? Yeah. Why is community amongst the best of the best in real estate important here? And I know, each of us, meeting with hundreds, of top agents over the years, hundreds and hundreds, we've heard different things, of why agents are just so excited and so thrilled to get the announcement that they've made it. And so perhaps we can just start here at the beginning. Why is community so important? What are you hearing, Lance, from agents and RP vetted businesses of why they've made this a focus, or even vision board? We meet with agents where it's like, this has been on my vision board to make it.
I love that. So many of the agents that we sit down with are so goal oriented and focused, and to put that on their vision board or as a goal to achieve that is remarkable, because we've said before, there's over 60,000 realtors, licensed realtors in the surrounding DFW area. So to make it into the top 500 of that enormous pool of people is remarkable, and to bust through that floor of 500 is amazing. And for somebody that maybe was only doing 2 or 3 or 4 million the year before, to bust through to 7, 8, 9, 10 and beyond is quite an achievement when you consider that the majority of the folks aren't. So there's that to be celebrated, just the success of that hard work paying off, of course. But also then you're now in an elite community of your peers. And I think that's the power of this. It's, of course, we love that we get to be a part of this and hear the stories, but really the attraction is this elite group of people. That's why our events are so well attended and so powerful, because the attraction is other top agents. It almost becomes kind of a mastermind community. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I mean, our events are different than your typical realtor event. I've been to, hundreds of them, a mixer.
We don't do happy hours.
And a lot of it has to do with the people, but the conversations are elevated when you have that caliber of people in the room. So we're so excited that we've created this platform. And I think that's the strength of it, this platform where other agents show up and attend and participate, and they get to know each other and build relationships that I say it all the time, but one of my favorite quotes from Randy White, he just said, I love this platform because I get to now build relationships outside of a transaction with other professionals that I work with. He doesn't go to a lot of events. He doesn't attend a lot of those things because he's just a busy guy, doesn't have time, but he makes it a priority because he knows that it's going to be meaningful, and the people that he meets are partners who have been all, referred by other top agents. There is just an integrity about this community, and the conversations and the things that happen there can change the trajectory of each other's business. And even Randy gave me that point. He's like, he one day called me and said, thank you for introducing me to one of our partners. And it really had changed his business, somebody that's so established. And I think that's the power of it. It really is.
Right. And integrity. I love that word that you use there, Lance, because goodness, when I'm meeting with top agents and they find out that this is a vetted community all around, both agents have been vetted to be a part. The businesses have been vetted to be a part. That's huge. And I really think that has led to the success of Real Producers here in the DFW area, but across the nation. As Jordan mentioned, Real Producers started back in one market in 2015, Indianapolis. Now we're in over 100 markets nationwide. And I know I can speak for all of us, just feel so blessed to have an exclusive community, Real Producers community here in DFW for the cream of the crop. And, we're also hearing that from agents. businesses that are so excited that we have a Real Producers here. And it's, again, because there's integrity there. It's truly an exclusive community of the best of the best. And speaking of the power of community, I mean, we know that community is so important no matter what sector of society you're in. And in business, in life, who you surround yourself with can either, lead you to going up or bring you down. And again, how incredible, like you pointed out, Lance, they want to be amongst their caliber. And we have such a community of giving hearts, of businesses, of top agents that want to help each other, see each other rise to the next level. And they understand that that happens together. And so I think that that's just a key thing.
Yeah. And I think one of the questions that I know we get asked a lot, that I'm sure people that are listening might be asking, okay, you said top 500, like what exactly does that mean, right? You say best businesses, like what does that mean? Well, if we talk about the agents, and when we say top 500, man, I wish we had the map to share of the 4 different markets. I always tell people, if you were to look at DFW, it's one big circle of like 7.5 million people, and you just put a plus sign in the middle.
There it is.
There you go. If you put a plus sign in the middle of it, you have 4 different quadrants, right? You have North Dallas on the top right. You have Dallas below at 635. You have North Fort Worth, which is South Lake and that surrounding area. And then Fort Worth on the bottom left there, right? Fort Worth, Arlington area. Thank you, Lance. And so those are the 4 different markets that we have for Real Producers. And so how we do it, Lance mentioned there's 60,000 licensed real estate agents in DFW. Each year, we take the top 500 that are prospective in that market. So and we base off your broker address, right? If your broker address is in Frisco, then you're competing to be in the top 500 for North Dallas Real Producers. If your broker address is in Fort Worth, you're competing to be in the top 500 in that defined Fort Worth market. And so how we do it is we look at the previous year. We look at all the agents on the MLS, and we base off their MLS sales volume, so their production volume of residential sales for the entire previous year. And if an agent, based off those MLS numbers, and we rank everyone, is in the top 500 for their market, they will receive and they will be a part of that community. Now, one of the questions that I get a lot are, how do we deal with teams, or how do we deal with, non-MLS transactions? And the reality is, and I'm very transparent, like there's never a system that's going to be perfect, right? There's local profile here. There's D Magazine here. There's Real Producers here, all that have different approaches on how they compile data and compile numbers. And I'll tell you right now that there's not one that is 100% accurate. That's just the reality of it. When you have 60,000 agents and you have 500 different brokerages in DFW, it can be a bit challenging to get the exact numbers of each individual agent. And so one of the challenges and the questions that we get is, maybe the MLS says that an agent did $10 million, and they say, well, Jordan, I actually did $12 million last year. Hey, totally get it. That is very normal. Most agents we find are doing 10 to maybe 30% more on the in real life total true production than what shows up on the MLS. And that's strictly because, if you do a cash deal and it's not recording the MLS, well, we can't pull it, right? If you do a new build that's not recording the MLS, we can't pull it. And so that's just the same boat. And so, sometimes
everybody's on that same playing field come January.
Yeah. And so where people get frustrated is if they're right on the cusp, right, and they didn't make it. But the reality is let's say it's 10 million to be in, it's 10.5 million or more to be in North Dallas Real Producers for this year. And if you're an agent that did 10 million on the MLS, you didn't make it, but maybe you said I did 12 million. Well, this might be true. But if we took everybody's true data, everybody would elevate 10, 20, 30%. And likely they would still miss the mark if we got everyone's true data. And so that's okay. That's all right. It is what it is, but it's about as accurate as you can truly get. I mean, this is really close, very accurate data because we are genuinely pulling from everywhere in the Metroplex. And that's the approach that we take. The one that I struggle with a little bit, Lance and I were talking about this the other day, is teams. There's not a lot that we can do about a team. If you have a team that has 10 agents on it, you might enter your data in two different ways. You might do it all under the headmaster, the team leader of that organization. All the 10 agents, no matter who's selling, it goes under one person's name. And so you might find someone that has $100 million of production on the MLS, but it was actually made up of 10 individual agents throughout the team, right? That's one way, and that's how we have to pull it. It's how they entered into the MLS. Now that same team might decide to do it a different way and have each individual agent pull it, and then maybe it shows if it was split evenly, it'd be 10 agents that all did $10 million, right? And it would show up differently. And so that's a discrepancy that I wish there was an easy solve. There's not, but what we tell those agents that are doing 100 million made up of 10 agents is, hey, we yes, congratulations to you, but everyone that's on your team, we want them to come to the events, want them to be a part of the community as well, right? And so just a couple of the discrepancies that I love to be transparent. I love to point out to people because we're not trying to hide anything from anybody. That's the way it is. We love the way that we pull it. We think the other approaches aren't as awesome as our approach, right? And so Lance, Rachelle, I don't know if anything in regards to that, if you just want to talk.
I'll add, it works in reverse too, because there's a lot of our top agents that maybe they don't report their numbers. They don't report their numbers with their team. And so even though, and it almost seems like they're being punished for running a team because they're pouring themselves into their teams. And so overall their production, might be 50 million, but they maybe only did 5 or 6 because they're pouring their lead genning for their team. And we hate that. Hopefully somebody on your team does bust through to the top 500 and we'll invite you to one of our events if but it works in reverse that way too. We either have a team leader that is benefiting and is on our list because of their team or vice versa. So again, it's not a perfect system. We love you all and we'd love to love on all of you guys because we're so impressed with your success and your hard work. So, feel free to, we're open to questions and of course, we'd love to sit down with any of you because we know that each of you has a unique story and particularly those that are building teams. I love folks that have poured themselves into others and that's the legacy that they're leaving. And they're building a business, and to see that phase of development, that growth is remarkable. And there's a lot of people in our community that would benefit from that. That's something we've touched on quite a bit is team building this year.
For sure.
Right. Yeah. A lot of goals for that.
Sorry. Yeah. I want Rachelle, if there's anything you want to add to that, Rachelle, the next thing I'd love to talk about is the partners. But then after that, Rachelle, I'd love to touch on what actually Tom Bishop was telling us about why Real Producers is so powerful. And so if there's anything you want to touch on the agent part, Rachelle, feel free to. But then I'd love for you to kind of bring about the value of our RP vetted businesses.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I just want to touch on 2 things. One, regarding questions. You might have seen me thumbing through the magazine there. Always look for this. We have a frequently asked questions page in the magazine. And so certainly, I'm sure some of you watching might have some more questions asking. We answer some of those on that page. So look for that in that magazine that should be coming to your doorstep or mailbox soon there. But just want to quickly mention, we get asked, well, how will I know? How will I know if I make it next year? If I'm in that top 500 for one of the territories. And I believe we mentioned, yes, we have the 4 territories. So how do I know I've made it? 2 ways. Want to quickly share with you. One is you will start receiving your monthly Real Producers magazine. And that does not go to the masses. No one can subscribe to it. That goes exclusively to those who've made it a part of this community, those RP vetted businesses, as Jordan mentioned, and also the agents who've made it within the top 500 for that territory. So you will know because you will start receiving that. Your name will be on the back. It might first start showing up at your office there. So you might want to check with them. But the other way you'll know is you will get at the beginning of the year that congratulatory text and email saying you've made it. And within that, I wonder, Lance, if you can find a picture of that badge there in the magazine.
Oh,
you
sure.
will get your RP, your Real Producers badge that's dated for the year. And goodness, if you're friends with some top agents in real estate here, there we go. It's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
On the
If
draw.
you're friends with some of those that are in the top 1 to 2% in real estate here in DFW, your news feed will have been showing people sharing the badge. I know Jordan, Lance, myself, our news feeds were flooded for days. And I'm still getting agents and people sharing their badge, the exciting news that they've made it. So look for that. Look for that text, that email, and that badge is yours to use however you like. We've seen agents use it a part of email signatures, their website, on listings. Jordan got sent a picture of someone using it at the DFW airport on a billboard there. So all to say, it is yours to use. It's dated for the year. And similarly, the businesses that have made it that are RP vetted, which means they're one of the best, recommended by the best, those in the top 1 to 2% to be a part of this community, also have their own badge, which Jordan was holding up a moment ago. So look for businesses using that as well. That means they have made it a part of the community. And just so you know, and I know we're going to touch on this right now here, Jordan, we don't let just any random business become a part of this community. We're not Google searching for businesses. Truly, they have been vetted to be a part. And I know we're going to touch on that now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, one of the exciting parts about real producers is on both sides, it's the best. It's the real estate agents, of course. Yeah, we have the top. Absolutely. But the businesses that we work with are also of the highest caliber that have, and Rachelle mentioned we vet them. And some people say, well, what does that mean exactly? 99% of the business that we meet with, or that partner with us and that we meet with, sometimes we meet with them and we don't partner with them, right? For various reasons. These businesses have come recommended to us directly from the highest producing agents that we meet with. And so that is kind of that first step, is where it's like, hey, this top agent says this is their favorite lender, title, roofer, inspector, etc. And from there, we may or may not reach out to that business to have a conversation with them. First of all, congratulate them for being nominated and for having, a top producing agent that loves working with them. Obviously, that says a lot about their business and their relationship with that agent. And so from there, it's we have a discussion with them. We sit down, we meet with them. There's things that we look for in businesses to make sure that they are a good fit for the community, right? We a few things. I mean, we look for businesses that are relational, that look to truly they put emphasis on taking care of their clients and that build relationships with people. We're not a transactional community, right? We're looking for people that say, not only do I focus on the quality of my service, but I'm going to focus on the quality of the relationship that I have with these agents and my customers. And it's something that's very important to us, because we want to know that if an agent makes a connection with a business that's a part of us and they start working together, we want to feel comfortable as the owners and those that work with real producers. We want to feel comfortable knowing that agent is being taken care of. And, we've been around for about 4 years within Real Producers. I've let people know, hey, we've let go of 4 different businesses to date that were a part of our community, that were paying us money to be a part of the community, that we realized through various conversations and things that, they weren't holding the standard of excellence that we require to be a part of Real Producers, and we let those businesses go. So just because someone makes it in doesn't mean that they're in for life, right? We want to make sure that they uphold that standard, and and no business is perfect. I always say that. I mean, the more you grow, all that, the more people that love you, the more they're going to hate you. That's just the reality of it. So no one's perfect, but we do have to keep an eye on if we're hearing things over and over and things that might be.
We get the inside scoop meeting with top agents weekly.
For sure. And so just to cap that off with the partners, so those businesses that partner with us, they're the best. And so these agents, they use us as a resource, to look for businesses that could fill gaps in their vendor list, that can help elevate their business to the next level. And it's a very special group of businesses that we take a ton of pride in. And, we truly couldn't have Real Producers without the businesses that we partner with. So Lance or Rachelle, anything else you guys want to touch on?
Yeah, if I can, Jordan, I think it's also one of the questions that we ask is, does a potential partner have the capacity to grow? Because if we introduce them to an agent, it's likely going to be somebody that's very influential that's going to send them a lot of business, and then the word's going to get out. And so they have to have that capacity to handle that growth, because the last thing we want to do is set somebody up for failure. So I think that's critical for sure. But also it's an attitude of contribution, showing up. This is really a blue ocean community. Even though there's competitors, people come in here and they treat each other more like colleagues and collaborators. And it's more, again, mastermind type conversations, even at our partner events. I love seeing the conversations that happen and almost, trade secrets that are being shared. But it's because they realize that they're in the room with some of the smartest people in DFW and other people that are like-minded. So showing up with that attitude of abundance and not looking at our vendor list and go, oh, there's already 4 roofers or 4 or 10, whatever it might be, inspectors and being afraid of that, because there's plenty of business. It really, truly is such a relationship-based community that there's enough business for everybody, and approaching it that way.
Yeah. Although I do want to hop in there, Lance, and say we do have some exclusivity in the categories, which I think is important to note, because some real producers across the nation, what is it, Jordan? Boston has 18 title companies or something like that.
Wichita, I think, has 17 lenders.
Yeah, they're all happy, all a part of the community every single year. But Jordan Espeseth, right here, you can blame this guy right here. And, he decided we're going to have some exclusivity. We're going to cap categories at 10. And so for those businesses that are perhaps listening to this, or an agent who's like, oh my goodness, I have a business that I work with, they are one of the best, they need to be a part of this community, get in touch with us sooner than later, because some categories are going to cap and we're going to be having a waiting list soon. And you don't want to miss being a part of this incredible community. Again, I think back to, different meetings I've had with agents. One recently, Dina, she was like, she's new in real estate, I think a year in, and she's already in the top 500. So she is just doing incredible. And she was like, oh my goodness, I am so excited to find out about this community. She's like, I was always thinking there needs to be an Angie's list for those in real estate. And now I find out about this resource. This is incredible. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard that again and again from agents, just thinking, this is incredible. Even the businesses are vetted to be a part of this community. And again, being RP vetted carries weight. People know it means you are one of the best, recommended by the best, as Jordan mentioned. Those peers, if you're an agent, it's your peers in that top 1% to 2% who have put together the RP vetted business lists, which in each of our territories magazine, you will see there in the beginning of the magazine, updated monthly, there is that RP vetted business list for you to use. And also, as Jordan mentioned, many look to us as well as just a resource, a point person of, hey, who do you got for this category? Or I'm missing someone in this business category. And so feel free to reach out to us, the team, anytime. I have you guys texting, emailing me, Facebook messaging me. We're happy to help. We're very well connected here with the cream of the crop in real estate here in DFW. And we're all about helping take each other's businesses to the next level. And that, again, happens together. And who you run with is so important. And that's our passion. That's our heart. Seeing these relationships form, friendships form. I mean, oh my goodness. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's fun to see. Lance, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. Just a fun story. When we first launched Tarrant, now North Fort Worth Real Producers, I sat down with Danny Force. And he was in the Dallas, the North DFW publication. We didn't even have a copy of North Fort Worth yet, or Tarrant. And so we're going through and talking about the businesses that we work with, and then talking about the businesses that he loves. And so I'm like, well, so who's your lender? Who's your home inspector? And he just opens up the preferred, partner page, and he just starts going, that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. And he's pointing to all of them. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I met them all through Real Producer. So he built his team. It was, and he said it changed his business, the trajectory of his business, his relationships, and I just love that. It was just such a great testimony to the power of that community.
Yeah. And I think, too, again, for those of you watching, please feel free to reach out to us. We receive nominations from those a part of the community, and that gives us that, okay, let's carve out some time to explore and see if this might be a good fit. But we do accept, nominations from those a part of the community. So
yeah, that's powerful too, to have that nomination from another business. They understand the power of the community, and to be invited kind of into the tribe by another colleague, somebody that you built a team with supporting. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Totally. So, we sat down, Rachelle and I sat down the other day with one of our favorite agents. His name is Tom. Actually the winner of an SB award, the Remy, which the Remy award goes to agents that really embody what Real Producers is. They're all about connection. They love connecting and collaborating with other agents and other businesses.
Right here.
Right there. And, this is coming from him. Obviously, as the owner, I'm a bit biased towards Real Producers, but I love what Tom said, as I should be, right? But as I love what Tom said, because there are different companies out there that give accolades to real estate agents for the good work that they do, and I think, by the way, I think they all do great jobs. I think D Magazine, for one, is one that I was inspired by when I moved here. I think D does a fantastic job. There's one that I see, Local Profile, I just did something as well. What Tom was saying, what makes Real Producers so special, not only by the way that how we pull it, and we don't let non-top producing agents come in, and we vet the community, and we truly have an elite community, but the sole fact that every single month, every single event, everything that we do is real estate based. It is for top producing real estate agents. It is for businesses that work in real estate. That is their focus. And where we are different than D Magazine or Local Profile is that's not how they operate. They have a month dedicated, to real estate agents, maybe a month or two, dedicated to real estate agents. Everything that we do is dedicated towards real estate agents, which really does make us a powerhouse specific niche inside that real estate industry for agents, for businesses to be a part of that. And since it is our focus, we know that just, seeing over the past 4 years, how this community has strengthened, how it's grown. And I'm telling y'all, like, we are, if you look at the hockey stick curve of businesses that are expanding and growing in their community, man, we're at the cusp of where it's gonna take off. And Real Producers, I've said this to our team, where we are right now is we're gonna look back several years from now and be like, man, that time from 2022 to 2024, that crazy hockey stick growth that just happened with the excitement and the power of connections that happened within Real Producers, man, we're at the cusp of that. I truly believe that. And so that's what Tom's words, not even mine. But I don't know, Rachelle or Lance, if you have anything else to add to that, but I really do think the power and the difference that we have is the way that we vet the community and the niche that's sole real estate. That's the approach we take with Real
Top 1 to 2% in real estate here.
Yeah. Well, I think we just saw this year the growth of now North Fort Worth Real Producer, just everything that happened in a year. When you're in the middle of it, it just feels, like you're just busy and slammed. But looking back, you're like, wow, and the community that's been created. And then, of course, with the announcement of the class of 2022, the blue wave of badges on Facebook. And
that's a good way to describe it.
that we're so proud of being part of this community, because it's so organic and it's authentic. And the stories that we tell are people sharing their authenticity. And so there's such strength in that, because I think that is, to me, one of the biggest connectors for all these agents. It's that one thing that does across the line. The people that are in the top 500 have figured out some way to be their authentic selves. It doesn't matter what brokerage they're working for. They have developed a sphere of influence because of who they are. And when you get a lot of people together like that, it's just so powerful. It's unstoppable. There's just so much that can happen in a community like that. And I love to see everybody cheering each other on. You know, when we go to our partner, our magazine celebration parties, which we do every other month for 2 of the issues, to see the agents get together and cheer each other on, you know, essentially competitors, you know, in the sense that they're all trying to find that next listing if you can find it. But they love to share each other's stories and are proud of each other's success. And, and that kind of a generous attitude and generous is unstoppable.
Yeah, I'd love to touch on that for a moment. I love what you've always said about the magazine, Jordan. And I make sure to say it. I make it a point in my meetings weekly with top agents. I say, you know, Jordan always has said, you know, this is not a brag book. You know, hence the title, Real Producers. We truly are about the real stories that have got people to where they are. And that's such a key part of community. You know, this isn't some superficial fluff. You know, this is, you know, we're getting to the heart of the matter. We're hearing about the befores and we're seeing the afters. And like you said, Lance, it's such a community of encouraging one another and celebrating the success. And I love that that is reflected in every single thing that we do, particularly the magazine, you know, which agents and businesses who receive it consider it, you know, like that badge of honor, you know, that again, they're still in that top 1% to 2%. They're receiving the Real Producers magazine, but it's more than that. You know, inside of it, yes, they're hearing about the work life, but they're getting to know, you know, their peers, those in that same caliber personally. And I think that that's been also, you know, just such a unique thing and beautiful thing about our community that, again, it's truly community focused. That's what we're about with everything we do, from the magazine to the events, to the closed Facebook group, to our podcast, you know, that we have weekly on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. We want to get to the heart of the matter.
I love it. And no one better than Rachelle to create community and love.
Oh my God. He's the minister of love.
Yep, she is the queen of connection and community, and that is.
I don't know about that, Lance and Jordan. Goodness.
Well, you 2 against 1, Rachelle. Lance and I vote you in. So, hey, so beautiful. So an agent gets in the top 500, right? They made the cut. What does that mean? You know, what's the first thing that they get? I mean, take them through, Rachelle or Lance, what it means for them to be a part of it, besides getting the accolades, you've made the cut, that type of thing.
Yeah. Well, I think let's just go through point by point. And again, I want to say to those of you agents watching, you're hearing about this first time, we also want to meet with you personally and hear your story and go over some more of this in depth. So please reach out. Lendon, I know from the difference, is going to have our email scrolling on the bottom. So feel free to reach out to us. We'll set up a meeting. Love to, again, meet and congratulate you in person and hear your story. But magazine, I think we just talked about that there. Again, you're hearing not only about agents, but also we do. There we go. Lance, where's yours?
My cover's better than your cover.
Oh, there we go. But also, you know, you're not only hearing the behind the story scoop about these top agents, different ones that we're featuring a part of the community. I think it's important to know we're also doing spotlights on these RP vetted businesses that you have nominated in. Why have they been so successful? Why are other top agents using them? But also getting to know them personally. And so you can expect to find that in the magazine, as well as those fun event recaps from the different parties we have throughout the year that are exclusive for you. And perhaps that's a good time to talk about that right now, Jordan. You know, talking about what they can expect event-wise within a year of making it a part of Real Producers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as Rachelle said, so if you make top 500, you're going to get that magazine physically in the mail every single month. That's your badge of honor, right, for being a part of that top 1-2%. With that, we already talked about the logo. I don't know if, Rachelle, you mentioned, but
yes,
you'll get the logo, and agents use that in every way possible on their marketing material they post on social media, their email signatures. Rachelle?
And I was going to say too, because we get asked, do you have a digital copy of the magazine as well? That is sent. We're going to be sending that monthly. And so not only do you get the physical copy of the magazine, you are going to get a digital copy of the magazine to your inbox. And as well, because I've been asked enough times from different top agents I'm meeting with, can you send me a Word document of that RP vetted business list? You know, for ease, they want to copy and paste it on their preferred vendor list instead of manually typing it out. So you'll also find that in your inbox as well, that we're going to be sending monthly. So just wanted to know.
Absolutely. So you get the magazine physically, digitally, you get your badge, that says you've made it based off of true production, not because you were voted in or anything like that, but because you genuinely produce at that level. But one of the things that we love so much about the community too is the events that we have, and they're so powerful. I remember the very first one I ever had was right over here at Concord Cowboy at the Star back in November 2018. And I just remember it was such a unique experience. Something like that had never happened in Real Producers. You know, we talk about how KW or Compass or EXP, they'll have maybe top producer events, awards for those specific brokerages. And you have top producing agents from KW there. And, but what we have is we have the highest producing real estate agents from all the different brokerages at that event, and the best businesses, of course. But I remember like Colleen Frost, for example, she was her second ever cover story, came up to me and she was just kind of flabbergasted as well as I was. But she's like, I'm looking around and I'm seeing all these incredible agents and businesses from all across the market and all different types of brokerages. And they're all connecting and they're all collaborating and they're masterminding and she's like, what? She's like, how? Like, I don't, it was a new concept. It never happened back then. I think I take it for granted a little bit now as we have our events. But what you can expect at those events is to genuinely have the highest producing real estate agents there that you can, what does it say? A rising tide lifts all boats, right? And so as you are with these other real estate agents, you guys can all rise together because who you are around will truly, as Jim Rohn, there's so many different personal development people that say the 5 closest people you spend time with is who you'll become, right? Someone said, if your 5 closest friends are broke, you'll be the 6th. If your 5 closest friends are millionaires, you'll be the 6th, right? If your 5 closest friends are happy, you'll be the 6th. And so with being in that real estate community, that will elevate everyone's game by the osmosis of being around all those other people. And so connecting with other agents that can help you grow, inspire you, give you ideas, tips, that type of thing. The businesses that are there to help elevate everyone's game as well. I mean, it's such a powerful event. We do big events like that a couple times a year,
per territory.
And we'll have, 125 to 300 people at those events, and they're just awesome. They're so good. So those big events have been a staple and a blast. We started last year doing small events, as Lance mentioned, every other month, where we take the last couple of issues that just came out, those agents that were featured, those businesses that were featured, maybe 30 of us in a room. We pop champagne and confetti, and we have professional photographers and videographers there. And we celebrate those that were featured in the last couple of issues. It's a beautiful, fun way an intimate way to put a stamp on those publications that just came out, and they've been an absolute blast. We love doing those. We got a couple of those coming up here soon. And what we did last year was the first time we had ever done this big blowout event at the end of the year. Rachelle's holding it up. It's the ESPY Award in November.
Holding it up there. Yeah.
See it. It was the first time we ever did an awards gala, black tie, for all of the markets. So for this event, y'all, we combine all the markets. It's the only event that we say, hey, if you're a Real Producers DFW, come on in. Everybody's invited, whether you're Fort Worth, North Fort Worth, Dallas, North Dallas, whether you're a partner of all or one, everybody comes together. We were pushing 500 people at that event, and it was absolutely incredible. I mean, it was just to see the caliber of people from all over the Metroplex, not just per territory. Now we're seeing icons from all over the Metroplex getting together. And it was a mind-blowing experience. And for us to start doing that as a staple now every November, it's going to get crazy and chaotic and in the most beautiful possible way. And we're just so excited. So those events, as a top producing agent, you get access to those events, right? As a partner, you get access to those events. And
people are still talking about it, the ESPYs. I tell you, when I meet with top agents, oh, wow. Like, people are like, tell me when the date is. I'm marking it on my calendar right now, And so it truly was, I think, in addition to obviously this being business-wise, like that quote you shared, the rising tide, helping lift one another higher, it's just special. Mm-hmm. Meeting with these top agents, I let them know, hey, within your territory, you can expect 2 opportunities during this year, 2 exclusive opportunities to connect with your peers in the top 1 to 2% for, if it's Dallas, the Dallas territory, or North DFW. Each of our territories, we throw 2 big special exclusive events for the agents who have made it a part of that territory, top 500, and our RP vetted businesses a part of that territory. And it's something you don't want to miss. So check your inboxes soon, because I think we're going to be sending out that calendar. And then, of course, as Jordan mentioned, we have the ESPYs, which is our annual awards gala, end of the year there, where we invite all of our territories. It'll be the top 2,000 agents out of 60,000 agents in the DFW. These ones are doing the bulk of the business. We're doing something pretty historic, gathering everyone for an awards gala. Love what Mike Delgado said. It was the best night ever, said everyone. Yeah.
Mr. Rising Star.
Who her and her husband, Matt, won an awards. Wasn't she saying, Jordan, like, besides, was it the birth of her children?
Besides having the birth of her kids and being married, it was the best night of her life.
Yeah. So you don't want to miss it. There are 3 opportunities for those of you who have made it to connect with your peers in that top 1 to 2%. So mark it on your calendar. And yes, as Jordan mentioned there, we also do the smaller, more intimate events, the magazine celebration parties. So you don't feel like you're missing out. I think we need to explain who's invited are the agents and RP vetted businesses that we've spotlighted in the issue. So don't worry, you're not missing an event invite if you haven't received it. That's just a smaller, more intimate group to those we featured.
So you get the magazine, physically, digitally. You get the badge. You get invites to these bad A events. And Lance, how much do these agents pay again if they want to be featured? If they get featured in the magazine? What do you mean?
Yeah, no, it's all organic. You could not pay to be featured. That's I think one of the most beautiful things about this. It really comes down to the story and the person. That's what drives this. It's just so genuine and authentic. You really couldn't pay if you wanted to.
Yeah,
to in this magazine.
So if you get featured, right? Those that are featured are those that are in the top 500.
Yeah,
that's part of the blessing of being a part is, and of course, we do not guarantee features. We meet with agents all the time. We're hearing people's stories. We're not judging. We're if we meet with you and you don't get featured, that's nothing against you or anything like that. We're just we only get to feature a few people every single month, and we're looking for just different things. And most people, there's a good chance they'll get featured at some point. If they stay in the community long enough.
That's why we had to start another magazine, a 4th magazine.
Well, and I think it's important to mention, Jordan, as I, say when I meet with people, I certainly reiterate that we cannot guarantee a write-up. But hey, this is important to us. We want to get to know you.
For
you
sure.
are a person, a part of the community now. It's important for us to welcome, congratulate, and just get to know you. You're not just a face to us at these events. You are a part of the community. And so that's really important.
Totally.
Yeah. I would say too, it's so fun when we sit down with agents and they nominate somebody to be featured that they just know has a great, inspiring story. So we look for those opportunities too. So of course we want to meet with you, but if there's somebody that you think that we should meet with, let us know, because I think that's what we love is when we get feedback from our agents that they read somebody's story and it really motivated them or inspired them. So,
and speaking of frequently asked questions, one of those we get is, well, how do I get featured? What do we factor into there? And I think that's important, to piggyback off of what we're saying here. We do work with nominations. from your peers in that top 1% to 2%, or people a part of your brokerage, if they reach out to us and they nominate you, that certainly is factored in. An RP vetted business, if you were to meet or talk with one of them, even if you don't end up working together, they are good people to know. But they say, hey, I spoke to, I'm going to use Mike, your name, since I saw you're watching there. I spoke to Mike Delgado. He's awesome. That factors towards, but just getting involved in the community. That is something huge that we factor a part of being featured. How do you get involved in the community? One is showing up to the events, those exclusive events, us getting to know you, but also getting involved in our online closed Facebook group. That's also another way to get involved and get to know the community. And perhaps this is a quick moment to talk about that here.
Yeah. Well, just quickly on that too. I think it's so important to note that what we love, what's so cool about Real Producers is we have so many agents that love being a part of it. There are so many agents they meet with our team, yes, but they come to the events. They see how they can help us. We see how they can help them. They reach out to our partners for potential additions to their team. And I have agents that reach out to me all the time. Hey, Jordan, I'm looking for a good inspector. Who do you got? And people that are utilizing our community as a resource, meeting up with other agents, that is what it's all about. And obviously, there's no doubt that those people are going to have a step up if it comes time to feature time. And obviously, we don't take payment. We don't take, we love support. That's it. Like contribution. That's what we're looking for. And
and on that note too, of what you said, Lance, like that's another question we get asked. Well, like, wait, how do you do everything you do if I'm not paying anything as an agent, to be a part of this? And it's just an incredible thing to let them know that, hey, actually those businesses that you guys in the top 1% to 2% have nominated to be a part of this community, they also support this community financially to make it happen. Yeah. And so again, that goes to what Jordan is saying a moment ago. Say thank you. Like, we know so many of you are just like, you're Raven fans. You're like, I am so excited that I made it a part of this community. Again, it's been a part of your vision board. We would just want to say to you, please, look at who those RP vetted businesses are. Again, they're all listed in the front of the issue, each issue of your magazine that will be coming monthly, that Real Producers magazine, and reach out, say thank you. Give them a try. Again, these have been vetted to be a part. For us to put our name behind them, it's important that they have been vetted. And that first checkbox for us, again, is that they have been nominated by a top producing agent in that 1% to 2%.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love that. And since we are on side time, I want one of our exciting things that it's been growing. There's excitement happening. It's kind of been Rachelle's mission to put a little time and effort into full job. And that is the private Facebook group. And there's a lot of value that comes there. And I'm having Rachelle touch on it, but one of the things I love about that is if you're a part of that group, if you're part of our top 500, you get to be a part of that group. But what's cool is if you're an agent, it's one of the few places, it's the only place where you get grandfathered in. It's like if you made the cut one year, that's the location where you get to hang out for years to come. Maybe if you aren't quite making that top 500, but you get grandfathered in to stay a part of that community. And that community is growing online too. And the group is becoming more known as a resource. And Rachelle's done a great job, and I'm sure she has some thoughts on it.
Yeah, and shout out to Gwenda and Kyle Draper's team, who have also been helping us. He's actually one of our RP vetted business. So if you need help with your digital footprint, growing that in social media, definitely reach out to them. So huge thanks. They're also helping us. But goodness, you might be wondering when you get added or click the join button, why is this a top 1,500? I thought I'm a part of this, i.e. Dallas Real Producers, the top 500. Well, as mentioned, if you caught us in the beginning of the program there, we have 4 territories for Real Producers in the DFW, each taking the top 500 out of 15,000 agents approximately in each of those regions. And Jordan Espeseth, right there, he's the owner and publisher of all 4. He's co-owner with Lance for our Tarrant County side ones there, Fort Worth Real Producers in North Fort Worth. And so Facebook, we thought, hey, let's just combine them all. So that is what you will see there. It's called DFW Real Producers Top 1500. For the top 1,500, it's soon going to be top 2,000. Top 2,000 agents, since we're just newly adding Fort Worth this year, Fort Worth community. But the top 2,000 agents out of 60,000 approximately agents in DFW. And again, you guys in the top 2,000 are doing the bulk of the business. And of course, our RP vetted businesses are a part of this group here as well. And again, this is just a way to stay connected and continue to build and grow in community and relationship. I love one of our most recent posts. You know, you'll see, I want to pause there and say, you'll see fellow top agents asking one another questions in there. So if you're a top agent watching right now, feel free to, again, use this as a resource to ask specifically your peers in that top 1% to 2% question. So you will see that there, but we're throwing out questions to the group. One of them recently that I love is with Valerie Brackey. She's a part of the community, has a huge heart to give. So we throw it out to the group. How do you give back in real estate? And it's just incredible reading, you know, what different members of the community are sharing, how they give back. And, you know, you'll see also business questions. One question we're going to be throwing out to the group in March is, you know, what do you outsource? You're busy, you know, so you can focus on the money-making activities. What do you outsource? Who do you use? And so you will find all sorts of different questions and resources put into that group, and just another great place to stay connected with what's happening, events that are coming up and such. And so definitely would say get engaged, you know, comment. We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
I'll add to that too, just the value, of course, to our agents, but to our business partners, because of course they're invited to that as well, all of our vetted business partners. So just to be able to build those relationships, it's not, you know, we do monitor that site so it doesn't get salesy or that kind of thing, you know, but overall, we've just seen it to be a community of people collaborating and building relationships. I think that's the most powerful. So just that invitation for our partners into that exclusive community is such a huge value for them. I think they're
I'm glad you brought that up, Lance, because for lack of a better word, you know, with that amount of businesses and agents, we don't want the wall, again, lack of better word, to become spammy. So we say, hey, those of you that are agents, you can share your listings. We ask that it just not be done on the wall. Look for this post we do monthly. It's called Share Your Listing. I can't find it right now, but it looks similar to this one. Share Your Listing February thread. Soon we're going to post one for March. And in the comments, share your listings, share that property you're looking for. One other that I want to quickly highlight that, again, we throw out monthly to the group is called Share Your Offering. It's this one there. And so any agents or RP vetted businesses, if you have a class, a course, mixer, a freebie, an event that you guys are throwing, we again ask at that amount of businesses we have a part of the group and agents, don't post it on the wall, but look for this thread and post in the comments what is going on. And it's just, I think of the other week, you know, one of our RP vetted businesses posting, you know, one of her offerings and just agents connecting her with her through that. So those are two posts to look for. But again, if you have a question or an inspiring thought to share or something you're excited about,
videos,
share on the wall. Cat videos. Lance is the cat person. Jordan, you're a cat person too. I was going to say we're the dog people, but no, I'm team dogs.
And my girlfriend's got me hooked on the dog train as well with her pit bull. So
there we go.
I'm a hybrid. But yes, so what a good call, by the way. I think we covered so many great topics. Yeah. I love everything that's happening. The Facebook group's growing. The energy of real producers is growing. The connections are growing. The buzz is growing. Everything about real producers is on this beautiful upward trajectory, and the value that we continue to bring is just it's amazing. And this call was great. I know we were like, we could probably do it in a half hour, but we love to talk about this topic, and so it tends to go a little bit longer. But hopefully for those that were watching, that gave you some more clarity on what we do with real producers and the value it can bring to you, and the honor it is to be a part of the community. And so thank you guys for being a part of the community, for
yes.
for making it what it is, the businesses that really make it what it is, and the agents that continue to support us. And, congrats to everybody. I mean, you're a part of the community because you're the best, whether you're an agent or a business.
And stay in touch. As we always say at the end with our guests, how do you stay in touch with them? How do you stay in touch with us? I know Lendon has our emails scrolling along the bottom there, but feel free. You see all of our names there. Add us to Facebook. We'd love to officially become friends there with you, but also like our business pages as well. We put a lot of real producers news and things happening on there.
That's right.
I'd like to say too, thank you for all the agents that did send us some nominations for businesses, and please continue to send us. It means so much that they've been vetted, and they'd love to know that you're talking about them. So thank you.
So thank you, guys. Thank you, Rachelle. Thank you, Lance. This is always fun when we get to get together. I have the podcast next week, Rachelle the week after, Lance after that, and then we'll be back together again. And so thank you guys for who are listening. Thank you, Lance. Thank you, Rachelle. Thank you, Lendon. Always a pleasure. And so we will see you guys next week, same time.